Before we get into this special weekend edition of Just the Truth, let me tell you about the latest special from Michael and Dell at MyPillow. The standard MyPillow, normally $49.98 for a limited time only, just $14.88 with promo code Joey. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and see all the specials. There's a limited quantity of just 10 at this special price. That's $14.88 with promo code Joey. And one more thing, we know MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty, but MyPillow has just announced that they're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee. That's right. Orders placed between now and December 25th will have their 60-day money-back guarantee extended through March the 1st, 2025. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studio. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. Joining us on today's show is Mark Thompson, Executive Director of the Walhalla Performing Arts Center, and boy, do they have an exciting lineup during the holidays and into the new year of 2025. We continue our series with local mayors, and this week we have Mayor of Simpsonville, Paul Shewmaker, who will talk about the growth we're seeing in the Upstate area and how smaller towns like Simpsonville are dealing with the changes. Finally, we have another segment with Greenville Water System Commissioner Deb Sofield. Last week, I asked Deb if it's okay to drink the water in Greenville, and Deb assures us we don't need to be spending money on bottled water. Let's get started with Mayor Paul Shewmaker. Welcome, Mr. Mayor. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's good to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. I appreciate your time today. Let's just start at the beginning. How did you decide, and what made you decide to run for mayor, and had you ever held public office before?
No, I have never held any public office before this and really had no ambition to do so. And when I retired as a director of human resources for a local company, my neighbor across the street said, we need a new mayor, and I want you to be the new mayor. And so here I am. I thought he was crazy at the time, but he talked me into, actually got my arm behind my back and talked me into running, and now 5 years later in my second term. So it's been very fulfilling, and I'm glad I've done it.
Now, are you and your neighbor still speaking?
Yes, we are. He's a good man, and he has been very supportive of me over the years. And interestingly enough, if you want to alienate your neighbors, becoming an elected official could be a good way to do it, but they're all still speaking to me too. So.
Well, it's quite a challenge, and I'll have to say I have great respect for people like you who just jump out there, put yourself out there, and to serve your community, because it can be a full-time job, can it?
It certainly can. I spend a lot of time doing this. I spend a lot of time at City Hall and that kind of thing. And it's not for the money. We have a council administrator form of government. So I don't have any special powers as mayor. It's more ceremonial. I preside over the council meetings and go to ribbon cuttings, but I can't even decree that I like ice cream. So it takes all of council to do anything. And from that aspect, sometimes people think mayor has a lot of power or makes a lot of money. It's not that way in Simpsonville.
Yeah. Let's talk for a minute. And on our guest line today, Paul Shewmaker, Mayor of Simpsonville. Once you were elected and were in the position of mayor, let's say 6 months in, what was the biggest surprise about the job? Maybe something that you had not expected.
COVID.
Oh, wow. Okay, good one. Yeah,
I actually felt sorry for myself that, oh my gosh, we have a worldwide emergency, and here I have just taken the office of mayor. And interestingly enough, 5 years later is now when I'm having trouble time to catch a breath. I've been so busy, and during COVID, it was kind of quiet. The world, really quieted down. We weren't going to all the meetings or being on the road or that kind of thing. And I didn't anticipate that when that let up, just how busy I would be. I don't mind it. It's like I said before, it's very fulfilling work and a very interesting thing to do, different than anything I've ever done before. But that was the big surprise. The other thing that I would say, I think more in line with what you're asking, is I thought possibly that being in the mayor's seat would be this, I'd be the main complaint desk for the city. And on balance, it has been very positive. I receive far more positive interactions than negative. I mean, it just far outweighs the negative interactions. Once in a while, people get passionate about things, but I was a human resources director. You kind of get some skills for being able to listen to what people have to say rather than how they're saying. And I think it's it has proven to be a very worthwhile thing to do. Don't always make everybody happy. You never can, but it has been not anywhere near as bad as I anticipated that it might be in terms of, people calling me up angry. Happens occasionally, but that's not the main thing you do when you're doing this job.
Sure. I would expect that your HR training probably trained you well to be a mayor.
I did not realize just how applicable it was going to be, but it definitely is.
Yeah.
Sometimes having the ability to tell people no or something they don't want to hear is a skill that you do build up in human resources. And sometimes that applies. Like just this week, I was fielding a call from somebody who was upset at something that was happening with their water and had to explain to them, I don't have anything to do with the Greenville Water System. You need to talk to them. So, I couldn't help that man, but,
Interesting that you say that, because a little later in today's show, I'm going to be talking with Greenville Water Commissioner Deb Sofield. So you can have them listen in to Word on the Street, and maybe we'll answer some of those questions. Let's talk about...
again, here's a case where, we have some of the best water in the world, and everybody needs to be appreciative of that. We're lucky.
Yes, we are. And it's quite interesting. This is this second of several interviews that I have scheduled with Deb Sofield on the Greenville Water System, and it's a unique system. We're very fortunate to have it. And 120 plus years ago, folks in Greenville, some of our leaders planned for that. They knew the need for good quality, clean water, and so they planned well. And so it's quite interesting to hear some of the details on how that operates. I'm a lifelong resident of the upstate of South Carolina, and so grew up in Greer, still live in Greer, and I can remember a time when there was a separation between, say, if I drove down towards into the Golden Strip, between Malden and Simpsonville and Fountain Inn, but with growth, it seems to have grown together. It's harder to distinguish between those two. Talk with us, Mayor Shewmaker, about the growth of Simpsonville. Do you feel like that you guys have managed it well?
I think we have managed it about as well as can be expected. I think the reality is that growth is managing us more than we're managing it. We're the fastest growing region in the nation in terms of the statewide. And of course, the Upstate is one of the fastest growing regions in the state. And 1,000 people a month are moving to Greenville County. It feels like all 1,000 of them are moving to Simpsonville. But in terms of trying to manage that, we've done okay. It wouldn't be what I would choose for our city in the long term to grow at that rate, because it does have impact that is very difficult to manage.
Yeah, I can see how it would be tough, because I've witnessed that in other areas of the Upstate, and it's going to happen, so you just have to deal with it. Let's talk for a minute, and in our final couple of minutes or so together here, if you're asked to give your elevator speech about Simpsonville, the good, the bad, the indifferent, tell us what you tell people.
I tell everybody that Simpsonville is just a wonderful city to live in. We have so much happening here in town that is really just amazing. The vitality in our downtown, the amount of people out and about on foot in our city from 7 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. We have so many amenities, new restaurants coming into town, and that trend is continuing. We've just vacated our old city hall in downtown. That property has already been put under contract by a local developer, and I'm not at liberty to say who that is, but they have really amazing plans that are going to continue to improve the quality and the character of our downtown, and I'm just very excited about that. I do have one thing that I just have to say, this that just happened, I think is very exciting.
Sure.
We have a marker in our cemetery for a man named Broadus West, and the marker isn't over a grave. His remains are not there, but it says on that marker that he died at Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. And I knew it was there. I had seen it over the years, and I got a call from a local resident who's kind of an amateur historian, and he says, now, you know that he was on the Arizona. And I said, I did not know that. And we kind of have figured out that the marker was put up before the Arizona was the touch point for the December 7th attack.
I see.
And we have, through this, the help of this local man, have reached out to the U.S. Navy, and they are going to loan us an artifact from the Arizona, and it will be put on display in our new city hall. And we are very confident that it will be here and ready for display on December 7th. So we'll have a little unveiling ceremony.
Wow.
and a plaque that explains about Broadus West and who he was and what he did to serve our community and our nation, because it's a legacy. You know, just a reminder of the courage and the service and the price of freedom that our people who serve in the military that paid for us to have this freedom.
Yeah. So. Well, what a great story. That is very cool. Mayor Paul Shewmaker, it's a pleasure talking with you. Thanks for your time today, and good luck as Simpsonville continues to grow.
Well, I thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure thing. Up next, Mark Thompson, Executive Director of the Walhalla Performing Arts Center, joins us to talk about the exciting schedule they have coming up through the holidays and into 2025. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. If you've listened to me for any length of time, you know that I'm a big fan of the Walhalla Performing Arts Center. If you're looking for something fun to do on any given weekend, you'll most likely find it at the Walhalla Performing Arts Center. For example, coming up, the Celtic Angels Christmas, Pam Tillis and her Bells and Bows Christmas, Gene Watson. This is just some of the great music, but you can also enjoy some great comedy and variety shows as well. Mutt's Gone Nuts, for example, is a world-class stunt dog show, something that is fun for the entire family. They have a great lineup coming up. To find out maybe a show that you and your family would like to visit, go to walhallapac.com, walhallapac.com. All ticketing information is right there. On a guest line today, the man who makes it all happen, the Executive Director of the Walhalla Performing Arts Center, Mark Thompson. Welcome. How are you?
Mr. Joey Hudson, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be on with you over at your new digs. And, of course, I thank you, and I'm flattered by all the kind words you said. And, of course, I've been a fan of the Joey Hudson Show going back to into the 90s. I've followed, so I'm excited to be able to be a part of this great new organization you're in. It's not even new anymore. You're probably all broken in, and they probably make you buy coffee and donuts in the morning, so you're one of the regular guys. But, yeah, we're excited. We've got a big season coming up. Had a lot of fun. I actually spoke to a friend of mine this morning, and we got talking about Travis Tritt and the fact, we've had Travis Tritt in our great little facility, and Winona Judd and Tanya Tucker and Bill Medley and the Righteous Brothers and Arlo Guthrie, and it goes on and on. Of course, our great friend, James Gregory, the comedian, Henry Cho. So just a great, fun variety. It's just a cool little place. Being a longtime Greenville resident, loved the area and had an opportunity to come up here to beautiful Oconee County. So it's a close little getaway. You can, get in your car, come up and see a show for the day, come up and just see all the beauties of course, of the Oconee County area, the hiking, biking, and waterfalls. But, it's come and see a show. We've got a number of shows, as you mentioned, coming up, and we've got, the Steel Drivers, and as you mentioned, Gene Watson, and we've got the Mother's Finest coming in. We've got Sean Dietrich coming in to do his storytelling. Of course, a favorite of yours and mine, and Senator Alexander's we've got Jason Crabb coming in the building. So just a lot of fun shows. Mutt's Gone Nuts, affordable, low ticketing fees. And an easy drive. I know everybody knows how to get to Clemson. We're just about 14 miles from the Clemson University to our front door. So, again, easy drive, 123 to 28. And we're at walhallapac.com. Our little organization is now a little over 20 years. It's been up and running, and I've been there about 8 years or close to 8 years now. And we've had a lot of fun. We've done a lot of great things and brought a lot of fun people through the building. And it certainly is. It's a great community facility. We are a 501c3, a true nonprofit. We're not owned or governed by the city or the county, but of course we do apply for a hospitality tax and a tax and those type of things. But we are freestanding. We own our 20,000 square foot, 120-year-old historic registry building, and we're very proud of it. And we've done a lot of work on the building the last year, or actually for the last 20 years. It's been an ongoing. It's what I refer to as our Johnny Cash building. We've been doing it one piece at a time, and we're finally, I think, after all these years and all the hard work of the ladies prior, before my time, and my time, and the good folks that rally and help me, we've fulfilled all 20,000 square feet. We will be opening our second floor on our main structure, the front schoolhouse part of the building, the facility, and it'll open up the first of the year, and we will have two short-term rentals, I should say, Airbnb style rental units upstairs, and we've got 2 offices and then a bonus room up there. So we're just finishing up our LLC and all of our tax forms that we need to have done to have that separate, but under the blanket of the Walhalla PAC flagship, and just bring it full circle, and just have had a lot of fun. We have Joey, it's a small crew. Being a nonprofit, there's only 3 of us that actually work there full time, and then we've got 4 rotating sound tech engineers that are phenomenal, and they do all the magic for us along with the shows. And then we've got a volunteer base of at least 120, 130 people, including our board members. And these folks are the backbone. It's amazing what they do. They come out, not only help us usher shows and park cars, but we've installed new lights around the property. It's been myself and the ushers, the volunteer people that have come out, and we've installed poles and lights and repaired things around the building. And we get together once, twice a year, and we do a big group clean and wipe down the windowsills, and just, in addition to the cleaning ladies that, of course, they are there multiple times a week. But they're just incredible folks, and their passion for it, it's that great little small town hallmark feel. Walhalla has really come full circle, and it's just a neat community as we bring in these new restaurants and Airbnbs and B&Bs and things like that. So great little getaway. I know your listening audience goes, from Oconee County all the way over on the other side of Spartanburg and up into Asheville, and you've got people that are listening to your show today that and run all the way down to Newberry and down that area. So take a drive in. It's a beautiful place. We're in a great little area, and of course, I know you live. You and Miss Peg have your second home right down the road from us. I can't imagine you can't be more than 12 miles from our building from where you.
Just a short drive for sure. Yeah.
So, but it is, and we've got a great our clientele. They're just they're heartland people. They're from they're great folks, great variety, and we like to listen to what they want, what they want to see, what's coming through. So great variety, and for your listeners, and I will make this plug. We've had our good friend Mr. Tyrus from the Gutfeld show has been in our building, done at least 4 shows there, and Miss Kat Timpf, and then some of the comedians from the show have been in and performed at our place, Jamie LaSalle and a few other folks. So, again, try to hit every facet of folks out there, but again, fun place, and not a bad seat in the house, and we've got incredible acoustics there, which we're really thankful to have. So it's just a great facility.
On our guest line today, Mark Thompson, Executive Director of the Walhalla Performing Arts Center. And if some of these things that Mark's talking about resonates with you and you're thinking, I want to check that place out, go to the website, walhallapac.com. Mark, you refer to it as your little place there. But, yes, it's a small venue compared to some of the others, like maybe the Peace Center and the Bon Secours Wellness Arena. But, boy, you guys have a big spirit. You have a big sound. You're right. The acoustics are fantastic. And there is not a bad seat in the house. I'll continue my conversation with Mark Thompson, and we'll talk a little about how special Oconee County is up next. Continuing my conversation with Mark Thompson, Executive Director of the Walhalla Performing Arts Center. Mark, Peg and I just love coming over, seeing shows, but we also have just rediscovered Oconee County. There's a lot more to do in Oconee. Talk with us about that.
It is. I'm so thankful to be here. And in my 34 years of being here in this great state, in this part of the state, moved here in the 91 area and just never wanted to leave. Had the incredible honor of being a part of the Newberry Opera House in the early years and helping, get that developed and get it up and running. And Newberry, like Walhalla, there's a magic to these type of venues. There's one difference, and for my folks in Newberry, and I know, and we used to kid about it, people would say to me, well, what are the two comparisons you can make? And as far as the facilities, the vibe and the feel, it's got that same, it's a very comfortable area. You don't have to pay to park. You come in, it's just a very nice, relaxed environment. You come out, you go in feeling good, you come out feeling good, and it's just, there's nothing stuffy or pretentious about it. But the difference is I'm fortunate enough here in Walhalla in Oconee County to have this beautiful surrounding here, where in Newberry, I loved going to the Opera House and the community's great, but you're in the middle of the state. And I know there's a lot of people that love that part of it, but I'm either an ocean beach guy or a lake mountain kind of guy. And, we've got the largest concentration of waterfalls east of the Rockies, not just the southeast, but the east of the Rockies. And with the hiking and the biking we have right here in Walhalla, a world-class bike trail now is open and up and running, and it's open, all year, all season, every day, inclement weather, of course. But so there's so many things that the assets in the community that complement what we do and vice versa, that it just makes for a great package. And I know as we open up our Airbnbs going into the first of the year, our short-term rentals, I don't want to get anybody upset, but the short-term rentals, our lodging facilities, they will be in our building. You'll get to come in and have a special keypad to come in and come on the second floor. And of course, the downstairs will be, it's all closed off and locked up, but we've got these great rooms that you can come in, and whether you want to come up and just spend the night and come and see a show, or you want to come up and you want to make a weekend of it, and you want to, come up and go into the mountains and take a ride up 28 or 107 or 11 or whatever you may want to do, and just enjoy the area and go out on the lake, even in the winter. You get a beautiful day in November and December, and just go out and enjoy riding in the lake. I mean, if you can put on your winter gear to go skiing and go out and fall in the snow, you can get on your boat and cruise around and enjoy it. But it's a beautiful area, and we're so fortunate that so much of this area has been protected, that the folks before us had the foresight to know we've got to protect this area that we've got. So we've got not only county facilities but state facilities, federal facilities, these properties that are protected. And bring the kids, bring the grandkids, come up and make a day of it. Come up, make a date, come up on a date. What a cool place to go. Instead of spending all your money having to go down and impress somebody on a $200 dinner. And and I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, as an alternate, take a drive and come on up here and come up and get it, have a nice picnic, come up and enjoy it. Rent a cabin, go to Visit Oconee, rent a cabin. We had Balsam Range in this weekend, and world-class bluegrass. I mean, they're phenomenal. They're one of our favorites that comes through the building. And I happened to be at the door. I'm usually all over the place, and a couple came in, and as we greet them, myself and our volunteers, and just said, have you been here before? And we try to just get a barometer as soon as they hit the door, so we know we can direct them where the seats are and where the concession area is and where the restrooms are and box office. And they said, well, actually, it's our first trip. We're huge fans of Balsam Range, and we just wanted to make a little weekend trip and go see our favorite band. And we are from Florida. We went on Visit Oconee from your website and thought, oh my God, let's go up and just make a weekend of it. So they drove in from Florida and came in for the weekend to see Balsam Range, and got an Airbnb in Walhalla, and spent the weekend and went to one of our little coffee shops in the morning and went out for dinner downtown Walhalla that evening, and just had a great time. And it's amazing. Those are the folks that post things on, our site, on the Visit Oconee, and, the tourism aspect of it. And it really, it's a nice package, and it feels good to have people come in and enjoy themselves,
Sure.
with the work that we all come together to try to do. So yeah, we're fortunate, very fortunate.
Yeah. Mark Thompson with me today with the Walhalla Performing Arts Center. Quickly, Mark, we have about a minute or so left here today.
Okay.
I'm really excited about the couple of rooms, and I was happy to be able to see them a week or so ago. They're beautiful. You've done a wonderful job with that. That's an exciting new addition to the Walhalla Performing Arts Center. Someone who's listening and maybe they want to plan that weekend, I know you said that they'll be available starting the first of the year. How would someone go about renting those? Will they be listed on Airbnb and other short-term rental sites?
Oh, well, actually, we're going to start out with them on our website. And because we've got the software built into our ticketing, it's going to be a one-stop shop. So you can come in and get your room, you can get your tickets, do the whole shooting match, and then, of course, to find, we've got all the listings for all the different places you can go eat and dine and shop and whatever else around the town. But yeah, it'll be listed on the WalhallaPAC.com website, which is where you want to get your tickets. And folks, I know as you listen and you may want to check us out and give us a run. When you Google us, and I know the world has changed a lot, people want to try to backdoor a lot of facilities. If you get to tickets.net, tickets.com, tickets, whatever, you're on the wrong site. You want to be on the WalhallaPAC.com, Walhalla Performing Arts Center, WalhallaPAC.com, and get on there, and it'll give you the full listing. And again, it's got everything in and around town, our shows. It'll have the short-term rentals listed on there as well. And if you have any questions, our ladies are in the box office. Diana and Emily are there Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day of the weekday. We have no handling fees, and they will help you. And as we get into the lodging, they will be well versed in that. So it'll not only be a box office, but it'll be kind of a front desk at the same time, where we will help navigate you through and get you in and get you comfortable. And they're beautiful rooms. Those will be posted on our website here after the first of the year, and you can do a little virtual tour. The rooms are 32 by 24 in size, and big king size beds and big screen TVs, and just really very cool, comfortable location, and just cool downtown Walhalla. So excited to be there. And I if I could just say this in closing, is I want to make sure that going into the first of the year, your folks are going to know about all these amenities and things that we have, because we're going to be sponsoring on the Joey Hudson Show after the first of the year with the Walhalla Performing Arts Center. So we'll be on the Joey Hudson family team over there on the airwaves. So we're excited about getting together on that come January 2025.
Yep, and that's very exciting too. I love you guys over there. Peg and I just love being able to come, and so I'm looking forward to you being part of our new family on News Talk 98.9 WORD. So you be listening to us, because we'll be giving you updates along the way next year of some of the fantastic things that are happening at the Walhalla Performing Arts Center. Mark, it's always a pleasure. I appreciate your friendship, appreciate what you do for Walhalla and the entire Upstate, because people come from all around the Upstate to see things that you, some of these shows that you bring into the area, and I look forward to a great 2025.
Joey, and I thank you and all you do, and we couldn't do it without you. So very excited, and please tell Mike Gallagher I said hello when you see him.
We'll have Mike over there to some of the events as well. So have a great day. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Joey.
Up next is the water safe to drink in Greenville. Greenville Water Commissioner Deb Sofield joins. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. On our guest line today, Deb Sofield with the Greenville Water Works. She is a Greenville Water Commissioner. Deb, as I was thinking about our visit today, I was reading through the Epic Times, and one of their columns this week, headline, "Forever Chemicals in U.S. Drinking Water, a Growing Problem." And it talks about some of the man-made chemicals. They're known as PFAS. I'm not sure what that's. Actually, I do know, but I can't say the word. But talk with us about some of these chemicals that other areas of the country are having a problem with, and it's something that they're concerned about. Do we have a concern as far as these chemicals?
No, we don't. And let me tell you why. Because the two in the northern part of the county, there is nothing coming in except pure water. We call it PFAS, just to make it easier. It is polyfluoroalkyl, but we call it PFAS for short. And what that is tiny particles, whether it is the breakdown of plastic, whether it's construction material, whatever it is getting into the water. And it is quite concerning because we know that PFAS, well, we assume PFAS causes health issues. I'm sure somebody can prove it, but it's best that we just keep it out of our water. Greenville Water collects 27,000 samples and over 105 samples every year. And those are for PFAS and PFOS. So there's two out there that we are constantly trying to make sure that we are careful with. And those regulations come down from the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. And then we also work with SCDHEC, South Carolina Department of Health and the Environment. So Greenville Water does not have a PFAS, PFOS problem because there's nothing, in a sense, going into the water. So you think about this. When I was a kid, you didn't get in the Reedy River, and you probably still should not be in the Reedy River because the plants for years, they dumped stuff in the river. So when you go to Conisty, folks, Conisty, although cleaned up, there's quite a bit of stuff in the ground that you just got to be careful about.
Right.
And so when you have a natural water source where there's nothing being put in, I mean, probably the biggest problem I have is maybe a fish, dying in the water. But no. And so that's a huge reason, Joey, why we are adamant you stay in your car and do not come on watershed property, because you could be introducing something that could cause trouble.
Yep. Greenville Water Commissioner Deb Sofield with us today. All right, so let's say I did not take your advice and I did try to sneak in to one of the northern watersheds. What's the penalty?
Well, first of all, well, let me tell you what's going to happen. We're going to find you because a couple of years ago, I advocated for drones. So we have drones we use for safety and security, and our guys fly them all the time. I also have a watershed security team, and they are constantly on the property. And then you will be arrested. We will hold you until the highway department comes and gets you. You will be arrested because you have now come on private property. And yes, it's, public utility, but you got to be careful. So yeah, don't do it. And then I'll just be honest with you. Good luck, because I've got rattlesnakes. I've got bears. We have armadillos. I have turkeys. I mean, there's deer. There are wild boars, those wild hogs. They'll chew you up. So yeah, but between my team and what God has provided up there, yeah, you wouldn't be too wise. We actually caught a couple kids. They walked from the road. They didn't have on shoes. They had on bathing suits. And I'm like, they're going to get poison oak, poison ivy, and it's copperhead season. So the guys arrested them. And so a couple things happened. I mean, they called their parents. Parents were surprised. And the kids were like, well, we just wanted to go swimming. And we're like, first of all, you're miles from where you're going to get into. And secondly, we're coming after you. Yeah. And you will be arrested.
All right, Commissioner, you've convinced me. I'm just going to stick to riding by in my boat, taking a picture of the intake at Lake Kiowee.
Okay, so obviously on Kiowee, you can get in the water.
Yes.
Kiowee is a public lake. But up here, Table Rock, North Saluda, and remember, North Saluda is up here next to Camp Old Indian. Yeah. So, yeah, don't come on. We're watching. We do have trail cams. And it's just unfortunate. There are people who don't think the rules apply to them. And we're like, if anything were to happen to you and you died, that means we got to come get you out of there. And that would cause trouble for the water. Now, it would be fixed. It would be cleaned. But suddenly you've caused a lot of harm just because of your selfishness.
Yep. Greenville Water Commissioner Deb Sofield with us today. Okay, let's talk about lead pipes, because I know that in other areas of the country that's been a big issue. Water pipes that have been in the ground for years and years and years. Of course, back in the day, they were all lead. Is that an issue with the Greenville water system as well?
No, it's not, and I'm glad you asked that. Greenville Water does not have lead pipes. Now, so we had galvanized steel that we've been pulling out, and we have spent a lot of money. We've got, a huge CIP to pay to remove the galvanized, and we're pretty much there. So the federal government has come by and said, listen, if you have lead pipes, you have to let us know, and you got to pull them out of the ground. We don't have lead pipes. Greenville really never was set up that way. So, no. What you might have, if it's an older home, you may have a copper pipe. Mm-hmm. But you probably don't have a lead pipe. And we are able to tell the EPA, Greenville Water has, met and surpassed anything because we don't have any lead pipes in our ground here.
So if someone...
You have to be careful with lead because it leaches into the water over time. So, no, we're good here.
So if someone who has moved into the area and they're not familiar with the Greenville water system and they're just concerned about drinking the water out of the tap, and so they're spending a lot of money on water services or buying bottled water, is it okay to drink the water? I mean, would you encourage people to drink our water?
I would. And you know why? Because it's clear and it's clean from the tap and you're fine. So people often say to me, oh, can I drink the water? Or the water tastes a little funny. And I'm like, it's not my water, it's your pipes. When's the last time? How old is your home?
Yep.
And, Greenville's an old town. I think people forget that. Greenville is an old city. Now, out where all the new is, yeah, you're good there. But it's not my water. It might be the pipe coming into the house, but you can. And I'll just say this. When I'm at Costco and I see people buying just tons of bottles of water, I so want to say to them, I hope you're selling it for your Pee-wee football team because you could be drinking the tap. And we've had a real hard time, and we have employed a number of Hispanic members and doing a advertising campaign to our friends in the Hispanic community because where they come from, you can't drink the water. But here you can. And so it's an education process, encouraging them, you're okay. You're okay. But listen, if all your life you had to drink bottled water, it's kind of hard to trust the tap. But you will see so many water systems in America today are saying, folks, we have such high standards. You have to meet them or you'll be shut down.
Yeah.
So please consider. Now, listen, does it taste different in Myrtle Beach? Yes, because you've got so much salt. That's why Greenville water is so good. We don't have the saltiness or whatever else will be coming from the ground. So you're fine. Drink the tap. You're okay. And, don't waste money. To me, I'm more worried about how long that water's been sitting in that bottle. In some tractor trailer that's so hot, that's where you're going to get your other things that are introduced. PFAS. Again, there's little tiny microscopic pellets that you're getting from plastic. That's why we tell people don't refill a water bottle.
Right.
Get something that is more sustainable. It's just for your health.
Yep. Deb Sofield, appreciate your time today. Appreciate what you do and what the Greenville water system does as well.
Thanks, Joey. Have me back anytime.
That's it for this special weekend edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. Just click on the share button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Firmin Ford text line 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code Joey. Order online at mypillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.